So, without further ado, the second half of our program is Stefanie Aziere Sattler with Stefanie Aziere Sattler Art, Canvas, and Cocktails, which sounds like a really great mix of stuff. So please help me in joining Stefanie to the stage.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mine's going to be really short compared to his, so this is going to scroll, and it's just going to keep showing you art that I've done or classes that I've taught. So the first thing that I face all the time with art is everyone thinks that you're born to with some kind of talent to do art, right? Sometimes, but that's rare. Anyone can paint, anyone can sculpt, anyone can do different forms of art if you're taught. And it doesn't take a lot of instruction most of the time, because if you break it down into simple functions, it's like eating the elephant. You think that it's this great big huge thing, and when you start doing it and you're doing it in small sessions basically, or as I paint by square inch at a time, pretty soon you step back and you look at it and you go, wow, I did that? So anyone can do this. So first thing I want to tell you is about myself. I came here 25 years ago, and I was actually on vacation. And I walked around downtown and I saw the incredible amount of art in buildings and then art in windows of different artists, and said this is a happening place for artists. I still think it is, and we're getting more and more and more artists all the time here. The thing about me that I always have more than one job. Most artists do, because it's difficult to support yourself on your art and make a really good living these days. I work for Starline Stables, which is a super great job. I have fantastic employers, and doing that job really allows me to continue to do my art. I started a small business here about a year ago. It was an idea that I've had for years, and I tried it. It really kind of fell into my lap, so I tried it. And because of the things he just said were so awesome, because a lot of those things I didn't have. I didn't have a backup plan. I didn't have money put back in savings. I didn't have a partner. I'm the one-man show like he talks about too, and having another job as well, my time was limited on being able to make that work. So I closed it just recently, and I had started doing classes, and people kept saying, oh, you have to still keep doing your classes. You have to keep doing your classes. And everyone knows or has heard of probably Paint the Town. They started here several years ago and just go to various businesses doing these classes. And I thought, well, I'll give it a whirl, see how people can do with it and how I am as a teacher. A lot of artists can do their craft, but being able to teach it is a whole different ballgame. And I started doing those classes, and you can see in a lot of these pictures, they've gone really, really well, and beyond my belief well. And it's so much fun, and I hear that all the time too. People say, "Well, there's nothing to do here. There's nothing to do in Sedalia. There's nothing to do." Yes, there is. There are so many things to do, and if you look at the different artists in this town, they're offering things to do. It's really picked up lately downtown. I'm very conservative. Doug Freed was one of my teachers in school, and he used to tell me that I was the most conservative artist he'd ever met. And but bringing the culture of art into this community, it's been here all along. It's just gotten lost kind of in the hustle of you got to go to work, you got to do this, you got to, the kids got ball games, you got to do all these things. So we're trying to fit them in on nights that things aren't going on, and it's picked up and really going great. My classes are at Ozark Coffee Company. If you haven't been to their new building, it is amazing. It's fantastic. I have lots of room now, And I also am going to start tomorrow night giving them at the Lantern House. So twice a month I give a class, and I think that that's plenty. If you do them, every week, you saturate the market, and pretty soon everybody's like, oh, I already painted that. I don't want to do that one again. So the other thing that I try to do is everyone thinks that when you go in there, if you can't draw, I've got to do this little stick figure, and it's going to be something so elementary that when you take it home, you're going to shove it in the drawer, and you're going to be like, ooh, I didn't do that. I try to come up with ideas and paintings that are going to be something you want to hang on the wall or give as a gift. And a lot of people, the last class I had, a couple of the ladies that come all the time, she said, I was trying to get girls in my office to do it, and they said, oh, she's too hard. We can't do her class. And I said, what? No. So I want you to realize that even though it might look like a complex painting, the way that I'm going to show you to do it, it's so easy and it's fun. We always have either snacks or dessert. The adult classes that I give are a sip and paint type of class, so you can have a glass of wine if you want. I give kids classes. I've gone all over and done birthday parties where they want to paint. And of course it's different refreshments. But they'll get cupcakes and punch and that kind of thing, and the kids love it. I'm looking for a place to try to give literally an infant class. There's a place in California that has been doing these for years, and I've been talking with her a lot, and she's coached me a lot on how to make this work with all ages. So soon we are giving a baby class, and the development, if you look at, these are going on in Japan, it's a big thing, and if you look at the development of a child, if they do art of some kind, it's like rapidly bigger than how it is here. So, the only other thing that I can add, probably not at 6 minutes, I don't know, but you can support your local artists so much that it's just an easy thing to think about. Instead of going to Walmart to buy gift cards, go to a place that has your artists, that's showcasing your artists. The Depot, different art places here. I don't know what Garnet changed her place to, the name of it. But anyway, there are, and even online, that's the way I market for the most part online. You can go to Facebook, go to Eventbrite is who I use a lot to post my events where you can register for an event. Instagram, all those different places, you can find that artist, and almost all of us that I know that are 2D artists do cards and that kind of thing. I also am a sculptor. Those are, few and far between that I get commissions for those, but I'm doing a life-size for Retrieving Freedom right now that's coming here out north of town, and they're an amazing organization. They're going to do great things in this community, and I'm proud to be able to get to do that. So that's all I have. Thank you. Does anybody have any questions?
How long are the classes?
They're 2 hours.
Okay.
At about an hour, I always have 3 or 4 people that are, they'll grab, I'll give you 4 or 5 brushes, and they grab the one that's this big. And because they're extremely detail-oriented type of people, and they'll just make small little marks on there, and pretty soon I go over and pick up the bigger brush and say, you need this one, and it'll help move it along. But the really awesome thing too that I didn't mention is the way that the tables are set up and stuff. So you can't see anything but your canvas for the most part. You might see a little bit of somebody else's, but you see your canvas. And you're painting along there, and I get to walk around and look at everybody's paintings, and the personality of that person comes out in that painting. And they'll all be different, all of them. And equally as good, but different. And it just, like if someone really likes Impressionism and they're that, that kind of, I want to call it a free spirit kind of person, it'll show in their painting. If somebody's very, very detail oriented and a perfectionist, very, very detailed, it'll show in that picture. And that's the cool part for me. I get to walk around and see how different all of our, personalities are. And it's therapy too. I have people come in and they're like, oh, I've had a bad week. I can't wait to sit down and paint. Have a little drink, sit down and paint, and de-stress. So.
What time are your classes normally offered?
Usually 6 to 8. And right now I'm doing Ozark Coffee Company on Wednesday nights, and it's the second Wednesday of every month. The Lantern House will be the first Thursday of every month. So they're 1 week apart and 2 different places. I don't know if I could do more I'll do like a private party or something, but trying to schedule them every month more than that is, with my other job, is restrictive, so.
If you did a private one, what would be the optimum number of people?
The max I take is 20, because I have 20 easels, and usually 20 that'll pack a room that's a normal size room. Now, if somebody like here at the college said, "Hey, we want to have a class, and we've got this many," I'd be building some new easels because I build them myself. So it's. There's really not, we would pick an image that would not take an extreme amount of instruction from me so that everyone could finish. I teach in acrylic. What I paint in typically is oil, everything but acrylic. But when I started, I was doing acrylic. And it's because it's the quickest drying. It's definitely not the easiest. I tell, if I see people coming and they come to repeat classes, I'm like, okay, you're gonna want to move to oil soon, and or I'll show you, I'll give you a couple of instruction classes on that, and then you're gonna move on, because I want to build artists. It's great to do it for fun and everybody has a good time, but I'm trying to bring that culture into their life, and then they pass it on to their children and on, because it's dying in our schools. I hate to say that, but it's not the priority. All the other things are, because of the way, our progressiveness has gone, where it's harder for kids to get to, do those things. So I want to push that as much as I can. I gave a clay class too, and there were, usually I have 20 or so people for painting. I had 5 for the clay, and they're scared of it. So try to get them to not be afraid of things.
What do you see as your greatest challenge in keeping this business going?
I guess I would say marketing, because I'm not good with that. Just like speaking, I'm not a good speaker. I'm not savvy with marketing techniques or how to reach people, and I don't want people to be afraid of it. And when they come into class and we first start sitting down, I can tell how nervous a few people are if they haven't done it before, and that's the first thing I say is, you just got to jump into this. And it's very freeing. The more you do that, the more you're going to do it in other areas of your life as well.
I guess kind of like a story/suggestion for your marketing. I recently moved here from Florida, and we have a place like yours in Florida. And one of the things my friends and I love to do is get on the website and scroll through all the pictures that they were doing in the next couple of months and say, oh, I want to do that one. Oh, I want to do that one. So yesterday, your husband walked into my office and saw one of my pictures that I had done a few months ago on my wall. And he told me about you. And so I looked you up, and it's actually really ironic that you're here today, but I went on your website and I found your picture that you're doing tomorrow, and I think it's gorgeous. So I shared it with some of my friends, and they said, oh, I love it, but I can't do it day after tomorrow because we just found out about it yesterday. And I said, well, she's doing one next month, but I don't know what picture she's doing next month.
Right.
So if you can get those on your website and get your event set up,
right,
just get it somewhere so we can see what you're doing.
That's a great idea. I appreciate that. Yeah. My sister is, she just recently moved to Kansas City, and she's a jewelry designer. And she started telling me, you need to do exactly what you said, add your classes months ahead of time. and they'll go ahead and get booked up. And I at first I said, really? Do you really think somebody's going to be that interested? And she said, yes, you need to do that. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
Along those lines, I would suggest maybe every other month doing a simpler subject matter. Because I've done a couple of your classes over the years.
Yes.
And I've also done classes with probably 5 other different instructors in
Okay.
the Central Missouri area. And I have to say, yours have been the most challenging for me because of the subject content.
Okay.
So, you know, if you want to draw in, you made the comment earlier, someone said, oh, it's too,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
too hard. So you might want to simplify one every 3rd month or every other month to get people coming in and realizing, oh, I can do this.
Right.
This is fun. And then they'll step up to the next challenging.
Yes.
You know,
I've started having some people that have come in for 1 or 2 classes pick these images that we're doing now, like the one tomorrow night. I didn't pick it. And I'm finding out that's probably good, because my mind is, you know, further down the road that you can do this. So, and I know that you can, so I'll push it. And then some people are like, I can't be pushed yet. I've got to try this a little bit at a time. So the one tomorrow night is a lantern, which I thought was fitting for the lantern house, and fireflies. And yesterday I did, and this is always the test too, I do it to see how quickly I can do them. And if I can't do it in an hour, I know that my class is not going to be able to do it in 2. So I did it in 30 minutes yesterday. And my husband was timing me. And I kept saying, where we at? Where we at? Where, you know, and he told me. So it's, you know, and then I got up and I went and downstairs for a few minutes, and I went back up and did some little detail here and there so that it stretched out for a whole hour. But, you know, I really appreciate that too, because it's a good way to think about having other people come into the class that maybe aren't real comfortable with doing art and would do it and then get hooked on it. I'm hoping.
Is it cost? Oh, I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
Cost per person or cost per?
Normally I charge $35 per person, and that will include all of their materials and a drink and snacks. I usually either get a dessert from Ozark Coffee, and it'll include a coffee or a glass of wine. And then at the Lantern House, what she's having me do this class, we're going to do it different because I'm not crazy about the way this went. She wanted me to charge $45, and that include a meal and 1 drink. Well, the issue with that is the way you register through my class is through Eventbrite, and I pay them a fee on how much I'm collecting. So I'm losing money, not only to her, because then I'm going to pay her for the meal and the drink, but I'm also going to lose 10% to Eventbrite. So after we did that, I also saw that she had booked, this is leading down a good road here, because she's also hosting Paint the Town. And one of my students called me and they said, this was like 10 o'clock at night. Oh my gosh, did you see that they're going to have Paint the Town? And I said, okay. And she said, well, that's not good, is it, for you to have another paint company going in the same place? And I said, competition is good. Competition is very good. If you have one product here and you have another product here that does the same thing, but this product's better, which one are you going to pick? So it drives me to try to be better. And as a teacher, in the marketing end of it, that's when Kelly said to do this. I went, oh no, I can't do it. And she said, yes, you can. And I was like, okay, I'll try. So that's good. Competition's good. I said, don't worry about that. But she had them do the $35, and then they can eat if they want. They don't have to. It's not included in the price. They don't have to have a drink either. It's not included. So all that's going to be extra. And I said, now, what I don't like about that is you have mine, and here it is on the internet, and it says $45. And just like he said, less is more. They're not going to read on that includes your meal and a drink and, and so on and so on. So I said, they either need to be the same or I'm out. And she said, oh no, we'll make it the same. And I said, I'm sure you didn't think about that, but I don't want people to look at mine and think that they're so much more expensive and so much harder too. I'm battling that already. So I want to make them where it's across the board, and then they can choose which one they want to go to. And like I said, competition's good. He has made a very good business by going all over the place, and that isn't something I'm willing to do. I'm staying here in Sedalia. I might go 10 or 15 miles out, but that's it. I live 30 minutes away, so I don't want to do that. I'd be going. I've gone 2 hours away, and I don't. Nope, not anymore.
Okay, this is kind of expanding on another question earlier, and it regarded your private parties, and then it kind of concerns your price point as well. So you said that you would do a maximum of 20 right now in a private party.
Mm-hmm.
What would your minimum be for a private party?
5. And 5 doesn't bother me at all. It was really bad weather one night, and I had 3, and we had a blast. So I'm good with that. I come to Sedalia twice a day anyway, every day from Florence, so it doesn't bother me. I can give everybody more attention, really, so it's fun. Well, thank you all very much for having me. I appreciate it.
Okay,
Support your local artists.
I will say thank you for encouraging young people to be in touch with their creative minds, because I think that we are creatures that have a lot of creativity, but we don't always bring it out in kids. So thank you for even thinking about that.
You're welcome. I think it helps everyone. I'm a pretty high stress kind of person, and it does wonders for me. If I don't paint or sculpt once a week, I'm like, I gotta get out of here.
I might be your first customer for the baby class.
All right.
Stephanie, what can we as a community do for you?
Support your artists. Look and see what kind of products they offer. Look and see how it can fit into your life. What you can do to help them, and spread the word. Word of mouth, honestly, for me, has been huge. I would ask everybody when they come into my classes, I ask them, how did you find out? So-and-so told me. Somebody at work told me. And sometimes I saw it on Facebook, or I saw it on Instagram, so every bit of that helps a ton. And the one thing I was talking with Faith last few days, been in contact with her a lot lately, Bemis with the Democrat, and she's an artist. Her photographs are amazing. I said, one person with heart and effort is better than 1,000 with raw talent, because most of the time those with raw talent have their head in the clouds, and they're not good teachers. They're not, they don't present themselves well. And so I'm looking for the person that has just a little bit of will, and wants to do it and keeps coming back to do it, than the person that, can just do it without any instruction. So it makes it fun.
Very good. Let's give Stephanie a round of applause.
Thank you.